There are better times ahead, boys and girls, for the crypto markets. It's been a brutal couple of months. It's been really tough. The price is down or sideways. But there's a couple major news events that lead me to believe that we might be on the brink of a major reversal, especially into the election season, especially into 2025. Watch this whole video. I'm going to touch on all the major news points from the news cycle of the past week. Basically just recap everything that matters to you when it comes to crypto investing and why I'm bullish for this later half of the cycle. There's two major factors at play here, okay? You've got the unemployment rate and the CPI. In the news cycle, mainstream media, that's what people care about when it comes to pumping the economy, okay? These two things, I want you to pay attention. Civilian unemployment rate, for once, finally dropped down from 4.3% in July to 4.2% in August. Might not seem like much, but this is a measure of basically how many people are filing for unemployment, how many people need a job. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and what can we get out of this? Well, basically for the first time in 5 months, unemployment has ticked down by 0.1%, but that's in line with expectations. So for the last 5 months in a row, everybody was hoping and praying that things would be better than they actually are, and they missed expectations, and basically it was just 5 months of disappointment in the unemployment arena. And the Fed, when it comes to changing monetary policy, when it comes to lowering the interest rate, they're basically looking at things like CPI and unemployment data. Those are two very big factors, okay? Unemployment data, for once, finally fell in line with expectations. It's still 4%, but it wasn't a miss to the upside. Okay, now let's talk about CPI. CPI rose 0.2% in August, hitting the lowest rates since early 2021. So inflation is always rising, okay? Your cost of goods and services, your cost of housing, gas, prices at the grocery store, it's astronomically high. Crypto fixes this. You guys know I'm betting on crypto. You know I'm betting on things like PulseChain and Ethereum and all this stuff. It's got to go up because the Fed has to print more money. And when I say money printer go burr, okay, that's the meme, right? Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen. These are the people that work at the Federal Reserve. These are the people that print all the money. Whether or not they call it quantitative easing or bond buybacks or yield curve control, whatever name they make up for it, they inject more money into the economy. They devalue the dollar, and that means the value of assets goes up. Now, this makes the rich richer and the poor poorer, but you, a regular person at home, with access to the internet and a crypto exchange and a crypto wallet, like Rabby.io, you can escape this runaway inflation. Okay, crypto is the answer. It really is a life raft for inflation. And inflation's still obviously going up, right? It's just going up less fast. That's what the CPI numbers are telling us. And both unemployment and CPI, they came out this week, guys. I'm just going to give you the recap. This is like a week's worth of news in 10 minutes, okay? And the takeaway here for the CPI, remember this is the inflation data. Inflation falls to 2.5%, finally in line with expectations. And this is the lowest inflation rate again since March of 2021. And they also make an assumption here that the first rate cut of 2020 is coming next week. Now, this is almost a certainty. It's not for sure going to happen, but we can probably predict that on September 18th, all right? September 18th, look, 5 more days. This is when the FOMC meets, okay? This is when the Federal Reserve meets, and they talk about whether or not they're going to lower interest rates or raise them. You can see we're not even arguing about the chance of no rate cuts, okay? People are just basically betting on 65% certainty, look down here, that they're going to cut rates by a quarter basis point, 35% that they cut rates by a half a basis point. Now, they talk about soft landing, okay? You might hear the term soft landing in the news. That just means that they're trying to ease into it, okay? They're trying to ease into it. So the higher probability is on a slower rate cut, but it's still a rate cut. The first one basically since they stopped quantitative easing all the way back when. So 25 basis point, that's 0.25%, okay? They're going to cut rates by 0.25%, most likely on September 18th. Keep an eye out for that, guys. That's what matters when it comes to turning the money printer back on. All these complicated words, global liquidity, all this stuff just means injecting more money, okay? Inflating away your purchasing power, basically a hidden tax, stealing your money without actually stealing the money out of your bank accounts. But there's some other good news, right? If you look around us, guys, there's all kinds of good news. This Coinbase thing is an example. Coinbase is minting a digital version of Bitcoin that's tradable on the Ethereum blockchain. So what does this tell you? First of all, don't trust this. It's not real Bitcoin, okay? It's probably not decentralized at all. It's coming from Coinbase. They probably got admin keys. Nobody should be going and aping into this, but it tells you that if Coinbase is putting Bitcoin in digital form on the Ethereum blockchain, it's going to compete with wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC. That must mean there's a lot of demand for on-chain activities, right? Just like Tether printed billions of dollars worth of Tether for various different blockchains recently. It's all because of demand. Coinbase wouldn't be doing this, guys, if there wasn't demand for on-chain crypto. And this is better than crypto and exchanges, okay? It's probably Again, CBBTC. This is a wrap version of Bitcoin created by Coinbase. It's probably centralized, fake crypto. So again, don't buy it. Be careful using it. But what they're implying is that, look, millions of Bitcoin holders can now access DeFi apps. DeFi is the important part here because, as we know, if we want money to flow on-chain, this is going to help give people a reason to maybe get some of their Bitcoin on-chain and play around and inject crypto liquidity where it's supposed to be, which is on-chain, right? So if Ethereum pumps and people are playing around with the wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum, some of that spillover ideally comes into the competitors. The rising tide lifts all ships. And so PulseChain, layer one, symbiotic with Ethereum, more people on chain means more people using different blockchains, speculating, and on-chain is better than centralized exchange at the end of the day. Even though it's fake crypto, at least it's on a blockchain. At least people are getting shoved in that general direction. The crypto normies, And speaking of crypto normies, you got PayPal and Venmo. This just came out a couple days ago. PayPal and Venmo are now enabled with ENS domains, meaning I can now pay people on Venmo and PayPal, which again, I don't recommend you use these apps. Use real crypto. Get MetaMask wallet. Get Rabby.io. Get a real crypto wallet. Do it the right way. But think about how many users Venmo and PayPal has. Venmo, here's some statistics. 77.7 million users in 2022. It's probably, hundreds of millions now. PayPal users, 426 million people. All right, this is like 500 million people that we're talking about here. Let's be honest, I still use Venmo. I still use PayPal for my traditional CBDC money, right? For my traditional dollars. And a lot of people are using this. So if you're meeting people where they're already at, and you're meeting 500 million people that already have PayPal or Venmo on their phone, right? And now you're allowing them to use their ENS domain names. PayPal just came out with its own stablecoin, PYUSD. So this is going to be the underpinning. So this is how crypto adoption, this is the waterfall moment, right? This is when crypto goes from like innovators to early adopters. Okay, when it really goes mainstream because you're having it on the app that everyone's already using. And this is just bullish for the whole ecosystem. All right, again, use real cryptocurrency. Use the real stuff. This is just going to unlock tons more people coming in. All the things are gearing up. Do you understand what I'm saying? All the macro environment is extremely bullish. And just because the prices are temporarily down, I could personally see a very bright Q4, very bright 2025, regardless of even who gets elected. The presidential debate was on Tuesday. If you're pro-crypto, guys, I think you know who the obvious choice is. It's painful to watch politics sometimes. And you're like, how can people just keep believing the lies on the left? I have no idea. But even regardless of who wins the election, and again, you should want the pro-crypto candidate, all right, versus the one that probably doesn't even have a clue what crypto is. Crypto is the most important innovation of our lifetime. But even in the worst case scenario, it doesn't stop the fact that the money printer will still continue to print money. Okay? But let's just keep on going, all right? What else is happening in the news? eToro settling with the SEC. This is for $1.5 million. Not that much. Probably for eToro is not that much money. The SEC continues to be corrupt, continues to be incompetent. The main takeaways over here is that they limited eToro to only be able to sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash. Well, they're not actually admitting whether or not any of these are securities or crypto asset securities, a term that they totally made up. It's totally arbitrary. The SEC is one of the worst institutions in the entire USA. They're hindering innovation. And so, but the takeaway here is, look, Ethereum seems to keep getting a pass, right? Ethereum seems to keep getting a pass. And so when it comes to literal clones of Ethereum like PulseChain, it's a literal clone. The code base is the same, minus a couple of tweaks in terms of the total supply and the gas and the world's largest airdrop. So if Ethereum keeps getting a pass, don't you think that if anybody cares about looking into the truth and the facts of, let's say, the PulseChain versus SEC case, it just seems obvious that if Ethereum is not a security, whatever that even means anymore, then PulseChain will end up not being a security either. I'm very bullish on the outcome of the case, in the particular case of Richard Hart versus the SEC. I've got previous videos about that. You can watch those above. And finally, guys, this is the indicator of all indicators, right? Global liquidity. Every single time global liquidity increases, a bull run starts. Look at in the past, you've got breakouts of global liquidity. What is global liquidity? It's just a big addition of all of the cash that people have and how able people are, how likely people are to want to spend money. It's really, it doesn't have to be that complicated here. And we could even see the global liquidity index, as we've known for months now. I made a video about this a couple months ago. We could see global liquidity starting to tick upwards on this chart as of early 2024. And typically every time it does, every time this 65-month liquidity cycle ticks up, then that also basically correlates with extreme new highs, new all-time highs in stock markets, new all-time highs in crypto. Better times ahead, guys. Better times ahead. And so if you want to know what Global Liquidity Index really is, the Global Liquidity Index is basically just a worldwide indicator of how different central banks across the world, how ready they are to provide credit to other banks and those banks to other people. Look, central bank provision, private sector supply, it's also how much cash businesses have to invest, right, and cross-border flows. So it takes into account all these things. Basically, how much is money flowing through the economy globally, worldwide, both from the Fed, from private companies and individuals. And look, it tracks credit to non-bank borrowers, right? So when people are more likely to give out credit, that's because they have more money to give out. And that credit, long story short, goes and gets used to pump the economy, to pump all the asset prices. The Global Liquidity Index offers a consolidated view of all major bank balance sheets across the world. Money printer go burr, guys. Brighter times ahead. Don't shake yourself out of the lows if you're in crypto, if you're in HEX, PulseChain. Enjoy the 25% pump in HEX today. It just goes to show you, with these low liquidity ecosystems, PulseChain is very low liquidity in the grand scheme of things. So when Ethereum pumps, when the crypto markets pump, when the Fed cuts rates, when the election happens, it's all just part of a never-ending cycle of devaluing dollars and increasing asset prices. So I hope everyone's been able to accumulate some of their favorite cryptos. Mine are PulseX, HEX, INC, and of course PLS. If you want to know how to buy those coins, links in the description below. Tons of useful links. Check those out. Seriously, if you want to learn about how to buy into the most up-and-coming crypto ecosystem, what I seriously think is the opportunity of a lifetime in crypto. The biggest asymmetric bet that you could possibly make right now. Everybody thinks it's going to fail. Mainstream doesn't even know about it yet. And the mainstream opinion within crypto is to totally overlook it. Everyone's totally written it off. It is the true contrarian play. 100Xs are on the table here. Life-changing money is on the table. Check out those links in the description below. Learn how to do crypto the right way. Get your own crypto wallet. If you're brand new, you know nothing about crypto, I've got a course for that. 25 hours of content, link in the description below. There might not actually be that much time left before crypto takes off, so don't be sitting there wishing that you had bought sometime in 2024 and just sit around sidelined waiting for crypto to pump. Get in before so that you can capture the majority of the multiples of return. We're near all-time low prices. Global liquidity, again, right around the corner. I don't know how else I can say it, guys. I'm bullish. You should be bullish too. I'll see you on the next video.